Thank you, Christine, for this great introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is a great privilege to be here today at the UN with you. We live in a mutating world. Social classes are shifting like tectonic plates in every country, reshaping societies. The middle class is slowly being erased, becoming either poorer or richer, making us live in societies that are more and more binary. Either you are in or out, or either you have or have not. Interestingly, however, people themselves feel less binary. We also live in a world of digital mutation, building on the transformations made by new technologies and the internet since the 90s. Our planet is mutating, as human beings have been fashioning it to their needs for centuries. In fact, our planet is not mutating. It is slowly depleting. Human beings are also mutating. They have been for the last 2 centuries. We are all interconnected. Our societies, economies, culture, histories, for good or for bad, are interlinked. We are globalized beings. Even our health, well-being, and mobility is globalized, as revealed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Even our food is globalized, looking at the consequences of the current war in Europe. These mutations allow for crises to spring, and one crisis feeds on another one, and it's a never-ending cycle. Actually, I'm realizing that I'm painting a very gloomy picture, but positive change can happen. And the most tragic trend that would or should be shaping our world today, and these topics, for the better, is gender equality. Because women are agents of positive change. They are at the core of economies, societies, communities, families, and history making. They are at the core of multilateral issues and the many current global crises. Why are they these agents? Well, women are entrepreneurs and traders. There is 500 million women that are involved in entrepreneurial activities today. They support the productive capacity of countries. They also are job creators, especially for other women. And so they contribute to poverty reduction. Women are also innovators. Did you know that about 30% of women entrepreneurs globally offer innovative products? Did you also know that firms that have female chief technology officers are more innovative than firms with male technology officers? Women are drivers of economic diversification. They tend to be more involved in the services sector. Some countries are actually including women's economic empowerment at the center of their new economic diversification strategies. Women are climate change mitigators. In developing countries, they are natural resources managers. Through this role, women have become experts in maintaining biodiversity on land and at sea by developing eco-friendly techniques. They are actually circular economists. Women are healthcare givers and workers, as clearly revealed by the COVID-19 pandemic, and their unpaid healthcare contribution annually to the global economy amounts to $1.5 trillion. Women are also agents of food security. As cross-border traders in essential food products, they play a key role in supporting food security, nutritious diets, and therefore people's health. Their economic contribution is also undeniable. In West Africa, for example, female informal traders in essential food represent about 30% of total trade in the region. Women are peace builders. While treaties create peace, they don't always nurture and sustain them. People do, and women are frequently at the heart of ongoing reconstruction. Women are leaders too, as the UN Director General was saying this morning. But in the WTO, women are not really leaders. Women represent about 36% of ambassadors in the WTO, and about 30% of ministers in charge of WTO affairs are female. Of course, we have a Director General who is also a woman, and she's the first woman heading the organization. So I just wanted to also highlight that. Women are also revolutionaries, as we can witness today, and not to destroy, but to build new open societies, and they are in fact reformers. All these roles bring women back to trade that can strengthen them economically, financially, and also socially. This is what the WTO has engaged to do 6 years ago, making trade work for women. Since 2016, the WTO has evolved from a gender-blind organization to a gender-responsive one. In 2020, the WTO has institutionalized gender issues with the establishment of the Informal Working Group on Trade and Gender. And in 2022, WTO members multilaterally recognized the importance of women's economic empowerment and the WTO's work on trade and gender. But above all, today, I see two important shifts happening in trade policy. The first one, many countries now estimate that gender equality directly supports their trade expansion and their integration in trade markets. They believe that gender issues should be an integral part of their trade policies and strategies, and that investing in women, in women's productive potential is essential to enhancing their trade performance. In fact, trade and gender equality are seen now as two key components of economic development going hand in hand. Since 2019, supporting this trend and with the aim of promoting gender-responsive trade policymaking, the WTO developed a training program for government officials to build their capacity in integrating gender issues in their trade policies. And we also have developed a set of policy tools on trade and gender. Also, with the same objective, in May 2021, the WTO launched the WTO Gender Research Hub, a network of trade and gender researchers from academia, international and regional organizations. One of the hub's goals is to connect researchers and policymakers as they can mutually support each other's work on gender. And I see we have one member of the hub here today. Hi, Sanas. Following this purpose, on December 2022, the WTO organized the World Trade Congress on Gender, the first research conference on trade and gender organized internationally. In March this year, the hub has adopted its work program 2023-2024, and in November this year, we will be organizing the Youth Trade Summit on Gender to build the next generation of experts on trade and gender. Lastly, in 2021 and 2022, the WTO reformed its Aid for Trade monitoring and evaluation exercise to better integrate gender consideration into its data collection processes. And the WTO has developed a gender-relevant set of indicators to support governments in integrating gender into their Aid for Trade programs. So that's for the first shift and the response to the first shift. The second shift is also happening inside the WTO, with the institutionalization of gender in the organization. And given the cross-cutting nature of the issue, actually WTO members are starting to talk about social issues which were actually considered and still considered as being outside of the WTO mandate. I have spoken about our mutating world and that crises are shaping it. Crises, whether financial, climate, or health-related, are not gender neutral. And our current world is treating women worse than men because no matter the crisis, they are impacting women the most. Sometimes that needs to be taken into consideration when designing policies and trade policies. And I believe that trade can support women in crafting a way out of crisis. To conclude, I would like to say that all these changes mean that they need to be resilient. All these changes mean that leaders and pioneers need to be more resilient in their actions and work for long-term impact. Also, they cannot do it alone. They need partners in all fields of action at all levels. And this is why the WTO is partnering with other organizations, private sector, academia. As I was preparing for this event, I was asked to outline my dream or my hope for the future. And actually, I don't dream. I do. That's my only humble hope, that my action or my actions benefit women around the world and make trade work for them. And as John Fitzgerald Kennedy said, there are risks and costs to action, but they are far less than the long-range risks of comfortable inaction. And impact comes from action. Thank you very much.